Hello, friends, and welcome to HighRollers Uncharted Territory, a brand new mini-series that we're doing in association with Wizards of the Coast. Yes, this is a sponsored stream, just to put that out there. Sponsored Strong. Welcome. If you don't know, HighRollers Uncharted Territory is part of the Tomb of Annihilation. It's a brand new module coming out from Wizards of the Coast that you'll see a little bit later on in the year. I think around September time, I think, is the release date. And as part of that, they're doing a bunch of different sponsored streams, and I'm going to quickly highlight a bunch of them. So on Mondays, you have Dragon Talk with Greg and Shelley from Wizards of the Coast talking about all things D&D. On Tuesdays, there is more D&D news, followed by Dice Camera Action. This is all on the Dungeons & Dragons Twitch, I should point out.
Twitch.tv/D&D.
Thank you very much.
Which we're live on as well.
Which we are live on right now. So DCA, Dice Camera Action with Chris Perkins and his regular players on Tuesday. And then following that is Maze Arcana, one half of Maze Arcana with Satine Phoenix and Rudy Rudenberg. On Wednesdays, you have Misclicks, and then you also have another Maze Arcana game on Wednesdays as well. On Thursdays, you have the Girls Gluts Glory. I think I've got that right, GGG. On Thursdays, followed also by the C Team over on Hyper RPG Twitch. And then today, you have us. And then at 7 p.m. PDT, the Dragon Friends from Australia, who are a lovely bunch of folks that we got to meet. And they are very, very funny with live music, like improv comedians and stuff like that. So you can check out all those awesome streams that are all doing stuff in the Tomb of Annihilation. Back into our game, into our realm, you are all playing some new characters. Just give one sentence overview of who you're playing for any new watchers.
Cat.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to tell us the character name? Or?
You said one word.
I said one sentence.
I am a cat man.
Called Six Frisky Flames. Frisky Flames.
I'm a tabaxi, which is a cat person.
Yep.
And I'm a phoenix sorcerer, so I conjure the element of flame and fire.
You do.
And I'm mysterious. I got a ruby for my left eye, and
you love magic
treasure
stuff.
hunt with you, who will be introduced momentarily.
Momentarily.
Steve, can you turn my mic off for a second? I need to move it. It's
Gone right down.
It's
fallen
down.
This t-shirt is.
Yeah, there you go. Steve said good. Katie, when you go.
Yes, I am playing Fia, who is a sort of like a little bit of a street urchin. She is a rogue. She is a half elf as well. Yeah, she's pretty much just in it for the money and not much else. And what are you doing?
I'm having a wardrobe malfunction, sorry.
Okay. Jeez.
For the viewers.
Yours doesn't clip around.
Yeah,
see?
I don't know why yours doesn't do that.
So yeah, Fia is my character.
Fia's your character. Kim, you're just going to have to do your best.
Just balance on my
And
tip.
you've got a mini for Fia now.
I've got a mini for Fia. She's not properly.
Awesome.
She's not
It's
finished.
hidden amongst this
You'll
boat
see
of
it
things.
when the boat
I'll post a picture on Twitter
Kim?
or something.
I am Kim, also known as Kalar. The
Kalar
half-
Ragehorn.
Ragehorn. Surname is very important. Half-orc barbarian. I love fighting. I love drinking. I found my list of chat lines and wolf quotes. So drink every time one of those is deployed.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You're not allowed to encourage that on Twitch.
And
Drink water.
that's
Keep hydrated.
it.
Yeah, keep hydrated. You are an archaeologist
I'm
and
an
you love
archaeologist.
ancient cultures.
Yeah. So as well as being, full of life, I'm just like love history. Love it.
Okay.
Fucking love it.
Excellent. And then, returning superstar, loved Mist member of the HighRollers OG crew, Mr. Matthew Toffolo.
You fucking...
Mr. Matthew Toffolo.
Hey!
Toffolo. Tell us, who are you playing?
I am Sir Cromsby Rignus Stoneham III. He is a fat little dwarf who likes to drink.
Likes money.
And just likes money. And that's all he's in this for. It's for the money.
Your mic's not coming through.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not me who's the problem.
Or nothing but the best technical problems.
Just the. I'm Six Frisky Flames, a cat man. Thank you.
Just let me give me a minute. And we are playing in the Forgotten Realms, which is one of the official Dungeons & Dragons settings, as part of this new module. Nothing but high quality production values here in the Yogscast. And the group are all members of something called the Waterdeep Historical Society. And through their previous adventures, their misadventures I should say, they have so far been betrayed by a man called Lascalar Flisk, a sea captain who betrayed them in an ancient tomb and stole some artifacts which would lead them to an ancient forgotten city called Omu. They returned to the city of Waterdeep, the city of splendors. In fact, actually, Troy, you made some notes. Why don't you give a recap of what
his
happened
notes are
last time?
interesting.
They're so cute.
Tomb of Atan, beautiful staff, mysterious. That bastard Lascalar took it. Day 2 to 15, we wandered and wandered. Where on Toril is Waterdeep? These are the thoughts going through my head.
Because you spent like 2 weeks,
2 weeks
trying to get back to
wandering.
Waterdeep.
We enter the Waterdeep Society. Quailin, the uptight South Soothspeaker, approached us when we got back. Pompous elf with fez.
Yes, that's absolutely right. A pompous elf wearing a fez. A scholar.
Dougal Ninefingers also approached us at the time. A halfling. Worked with Fia.
No, he's a
Bit of a rival.
Rival.
It's going to take a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Why did I let you do the recap?
I've literally got names of people here.
Just names.
A vortex popped out of nowhere.
It did.
Out popped a man holding
body
a
of a
sphere, a beautiful sphere, and he was worse for wear. He said the tomb is in Chult. Fascinating. Oh, and there was a skeleton behind him.
Yes, there was a skeletal figure.
And a skeleton appeared. Undead. Weird. Lord Greymane. Then we
You
went...
just have names. Do you even know where they're connected to?
Yeah,
I'm going to take over from you, Trot, because I want people to understand what's going on. Okay, well, please, no, carry on.
She says hate water and has drawn a little picture of a
I got a sad
cat
cat face.
and
I really
water.
hate water.
To give you guys some context, the group returned to the Waterdeep Historical Society, where they were met by other historians and treasure hunters who kind of commiserated their recent loss against the traitorous Lascalar Flisk. And the group kind of recovered. But shortly afterwards and during the session, a green portal opened up and a body was thrown through. Behind it, this strange skeletal figure wearing tattered robes, decaying flesh, and a crown with like 2 horns emblazoned on it, who mocked the party and the rest of the Historical Society. But the man was laden with treasure, this dead body. And so a fight broke out over the treasure. There was a bit of fisticuffs, a bit of stealing going on. A few things got broken, including a window that Kalar threw a man through. And you guys were basically kicked out of the society for causing some trouble. Just temporarily, but a kind of sign of you can't do that sort of thing around here. However, you were lucky enough that as you exited, a tiefling woman called Favor approached you on behalf of somebody called Lady V, who wants to hire you on an expedition to go to this place called Chult, to find this lost city of Omu, because, most importantly, there is something called a death curse running amok through Toril at the moment, which anybody who has been resurrected is slowly decaying and dying once more, but also, whilst it's in effect, nobody can be resurrected, which is causing loads of problems for these big adventuring guilds and heroes. So you have been promised a hefty sum, I believe 20,000 gold was promised, to deal with this plague, find the source, Lady V, and stop it. And you guys have been given a ship has been commissioned for you, and you attempted to try and track down Lascalar before he left, but you were sad to find out that he had already begun his journey to Chult. And
Lady V will die in 20 days.
20 days. Good note-taking, Chris Trotter.
And the boat is called the Brazen Pegasus.
It is, and it's captained by a rock gnome named Automay.
Automay. There's no rooms below deck, and I hate water.
Yes, this is a sloop. So the Brazen Pegasus is a kind of long ship. It's about 60 foot long. The icon on the map is not indicative of the actual size of the ship. It's kind of relative scale. It's about 60 feet long. There are no quarters except the captain's. So you can go below decks, you can sit out on the deck and everything else, but there's not much privacy per se. We begin today's session with you guys making your journey. You leave behind the city of Waterdeep, the great sea gate, which is raised and lowered by merfolk who control the waters. Lower the gate to allow numerous ships out, and you begin your journey. Now, the first question I have is, during this sea trip, you've been warned that this could take as much as a week, or potentially longer. What I would like to know is what you guys do during this journey.
I want to stay far away from the water.
So you kind of sit in the middle of the boat.
The most center of the boat, behind a pole, so any splashes from the front or the sides,
you can just like kind of
pole.
Okay.
I'm living in constant fear.
You basically are just constantly.
I've got my claws dug into the deck, and I'm like Very edgy.
The crew find you incredibly amusing, and they are constantly teasing you.
Where's my blanket?
They do things like they'll be carrying buckets of water and pretend to trip and like almost splash you. Or
I hate humans.
they find it
Especially
hilarious.
water-based humans.
Yeah. The captain especially loves, like, she actually makes the men do this. She's actually kind of ordering them to tease you as often as possible. Just because she finds you incredibly amusing. Favor, the tiefling woman who's kind of accompanied you, you actually find her, most often she'll come and sit with you, not because she's afraid of the water, but because the center of the boat is the most sort of well-balanced place, and she finds it the easiest place to read. So she often sits next to you and reads
I'm
copious
asking
books.
about all the books. I'm like, show me this, show me that, show me that book. I want to read it.
Oh yes, and she pulls out another book, and most of the books she has concerns history, specifically Chaldean history, and over the course of it, you actually kind of pick up a few things. You learn that the current Chult is just overwhelmed by jungle, and this place is reaming with undead and giant lizards and loads of bad things. There's rumors that an ancient civilization once, was this beautiful kind of technologically advanced civilization that existed in the jungle that worshipped a god called Ubtao. But something went wrong, and a lot of recorded history was lost, and the jungle just overtook the city, and it was lost to all time. And it's believed that may be the legendary city of Omu itself. Fia, what do you do during this journey? There is not many places to go. What do you busy yourself with?
I feel like she would try and go up high a lot, like into the nest.
Into the crow's nest,
and
yeah,
stuff.
there is a crow's
And
nest. You often, as you go up there, there's actually, you find one of the crew, a kind of young lad. You kind of end up bumping into each other quite often. Either he's in there, but as soon as you show up, he's very eager to get back down again. He's like, oh yeah, you can take this shift, and he'll like scamper down and things like that.
Yeah,
his
Fia's
name's Thomas.
Okay, Fia's gonna be sort of watching, like she doesn't outwardly tell anyone, but she's really interested in knowing how the ship works.
Okay.
Like, and how to sail in general, but she's pretending like she doesn't really care.
Okay, so like as you're kind of like keeping an eye on things, you notice Captain Automate runs a pretty tight ship. She's constantly kind of calling out orders, but she lets the crew have fun as well because, you're traveling for several days. There's really not much to do. The seas are fairly calm. Automate kind of gives you updates most nights, kind of telling you how the sailing's going. It's plain sailing from here, nothing to worry about, and she's just kind of giving you brief updates. No signs of storms or anything on the horizon. But as you're traveling, the weather does get hotter and hotter and hotter, and she begins, the crew end up sleeping up on the deck more often, at night. And Automate spends some time kind of teaching you a little bit about the stars, kind of teaching you about the ways to navigate, and, because you're often up late as well, like with the half-elven blood, you kind of have a keener eye for these things. And she kind of, teaches you a little bit about the ship and kind of how to keep things going. That the sloop can, travel a good few knots a day. It's a fast ship, but it also has a low crew. So, they have to be wary of things like pilots. It requires a highly skilled crew as opposed to just a numerous big bulk. Kayla, what are you doing over this journey?
3 things.
3 things, okay.
3 people.
Number 1, drinking rum and singing sea shanties with the rest of the crew.
Yep.
Having a great time just singing songs and
Yeah,
stuff.
like things like singing songs is a regular pastime on the ship. Most of the evenings the crew are playing cards or dice and then they sing. Drinking, mainly not as much as you might think though. The crew actually kind of keep themselves always alert, but they have a good drink and they kind of loosen up a little bit in the evenings.
Yeah.
The exception to that is Automate herself, who is, from what you can tell, nearly always intoxicated. She's always swigging from something, she's always sniffing something, or like putting something in her mouth, like on her gums, like chewing something. She kind of lives in this perpetual state of over excitement and joy, and she's constantly like yelling and bellowing things and teasing Six, kind of constantly yelling at him. She tries to throw balls at you, but they're like often not like balls of yarn. It's like, big lumps, sacky lumps of like some sort of
momentarily
flour.
very excited, like
She's like, oh, look at him go!
Style it.
just hold it in.
Look at the little funny bugger! And she's like constantly throwing things.
I hate this. Going to kill her first.
She just laughs.
The second thing I'm doing is just casually, just every now and again, just flirting outrageously with Automy. Not really expecting anything, just kind of like, you know.
Oh, I see. So it is very well reciprocated. Automy is basically, you learn over the first few days, she's basically up for anything. And given the amount of flirtation you do, on the second night, she probably invites you back to the cabin. As you go inside, you can see that it's basically nothing more than sort of a decent-sized bed, a few containers, a couple of chests, locked down, like secured to the wood by like heavy bolts, and just clothing strewn around the place. It's organized chaos. One of the shelves is kind of locked in place on the side of the wall with a cabinet, and inside you can just see kind of packed in is containers of powders and various liquids of strange flavors, pipes that she occasionally smokes from. She offers them to you quite freely. She's just like, you should have some of this, and she's like offering it to you. It smells incredibly potent, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not an imbiber. I'm a drinker, but I'm not an imbiber.
If you don't imbibe, she offers drinks. She has like thick whiskies and rums, vodkas, everything of any sort. And yeah, generally you have a pretty wild time. For such a small person, she is very vigorous, very limber, and certainly knows her way around a woman. So
You got what you asked for.
yeah, it is a very
Rocking that Casbah.
invigorating experience. Yeah, it's fun, and there's never any kind of indication that it's anything more than killing time and having fun. And she kind of, as you're walking around the deck, she'll like, because she's so small, she like high fives your ass and things like that. She'll look at your like backleth and be like, "Oh, are you excited to see me?" and things like that. She like just delivers like these ridiculous lines.
Yeah.
What was the third
The
thing?
last thing is, anytime that I'm not messing around, I'm kind of just hanging out with Six and Favor and just reading these books, because I love history, so I'm just going to be devouring these books as well.
Yeah, so you kind of pick up the same thing about this kind of this god Ubtao, and from what you can tell from these old historical journals, Ubtao was a pretty benevolent god, but there was something it's kind of fragmented, but the books mention that the people of Chult turned away from Ubtao and worshipped the tricksters, and when they did so, calamity befell them. And you kind of get various references to this in various different texts. Favor is incredibly excited by all of this. She kind of knew a lot of this already, but as you're working through the things, she finds a few more references to things like the staff. You actually find kind of drawn out descriptions of Queen Napka, who was once the ruler of kind of Chult. And you can see her with this kind of golden staff that, like, the illustrator has drawn glowing, and it matches the one that you guys found in Atan's tomb that was stolen by
And that's why I do a little sketch in the front of my journal.
Yeah,
oh, yes,
you draw it. And when you see the staff in the illustrations, you can see it not only has this golden sphere on top, stylized like the sun, like the one you guys have acquired, but you can actually see that now that you look at your sphere, there's something missing. It looks like there may have been a gemstone or a crystal once part of this staff, but yours doesn't have that. Your staff head doesn't actually have this crystal gemstone. Favor looks over and she's like, this could be the thing. I know that Jessamine, one of the merchant princes, she mentioned he has a fondness for magical artifacts and things like that. He may know more about this crystal, this staff. If it's part of their culture and their history, I believe that should certainly be one of our first ports of call when we arrive in Port Nyanzaru.
Does the book state the name of the sphere that goes on the staff? The sun sphere.
She looks through and you guys maybe spend a couple of days trying to research this. Give me an intelligence check, both of you two.
Natural 20, bitch!
Natural one!
Natural one. Bitch! You're a bit distracted by Favor. Like, she kind of has this real sort of like sexy librarian thing going on. Like, she's very sort of meek and timid, always playing with her glasses. But she's kind of got like this kind of cute look about her that you kind of
I
just
just love
dig.
her knowledge and her passion
And
as
she's
well.
super passionate about the books, right?
Yeah, so knowledge.
Every now and again I like finish sentence. Like, Kayla, focus. Come on.
She's like, yes, no, look. And Flisk, you actually find the passage. And
Dare you.
Frisky,
Very close.
6, you find hidden in sort of like an old history book. And it's more about the kind of religion of Ubtao and the Queen Napka herself. There's a passing phrase that refers to the golden light of Ubtao. And you think that the head of the staff may be called the Light of Ubtao. And the gemstone is called the Heart of Ubtao. With your
How do you
natural
spell
20.
Ubtao?
UB''Tao. Ubtao. She's like, 6, this is incredible find.
Well, you
now that
just
we know
have
this,
to read the whole book.
I know, but it was hidden inside this passage. Absolutely fascinating, and there is a pile of books around you at this point. Like you have poured through hours and hours of research to find this.
What was the name of the gem?
The Heart of Ubtao. So Cromsby,
Hello.
what have you been doing to entertain yourself these past travelling days?
I have found a nice little alcove of rope that I have sat myself in, nice and comfy.
And so you've got like almost like an armchair that you
out
fill
of,
a coil
out of rope,
Okay,
yeah. And I've just been drinking and just had my pith helmet down over my eyes.
Sleeping.
Just having a good old kick. Snoring.
Okay.
Oh, Mildred! Oh.
Mildred.
Fia's sitting up in the crow's nest, and she's just kind of throwing little things to hit his helmet
Nuts.
occasionally, just to wake him up, and then
Did the nuts wake you up at all, or do you just sleep right through it?
Just sort of...
like flies, like.
if he
I like
stays
to
asleep,
think
I
I've got
throw
a bit of-
something bigger.
Okay. Do you sleep during the day?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna roll some. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
I want to see how badly Cromsby burns.
This is what I wanted to do.
Crispy!
Oh, that's pretty low. Well, that's not too bad.
Ooh, that's an 11.
So you have the pith helmet down like this, right?
Yeah.
So after about the 7th day, you all notice that Cromsby has this definite kind of like redness and then just pale like eyes above here. Like all of his arms are really, and it's sore. Like it's like painfully sort of like bad sunburn. Autumn thoroughly enjoys this. She's just like, no, I thought you were a man of the outside the wilderness, and she's like constantly prodding it and things like that.
Oh, you little cow, go on.
Oh, you know what? I've got Cromsby. I've got something that can help you with that back in the old cabin, if you'd like.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Would you be applying this to my person
Oh,
personally?
I'm sure, mate, that I can. I'm sorry, Kayla. I'm going to give this night to Cromsby. Come on, boy, come on.
Oh, lovely.
And you take, and as she leads you inside, you see this kind of same array, and she kind of like saunters her hips and things like that, and she goes over to her cabinet, and she's just like, well, I've got something for your skin, and then something for to ease the pain, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, that sounds like the ticket, my dear.
Oh, and she pulls out this kind of like fine powder, and she begins rolling kind of these long sheafs of paper, and then she pulls out an ointment, and she's just like, oh, but I can't be getting it all over my uniform, can I? And she strips off and things like that, and she comes in, she's like, oh, we can't have it on this lovely cloth, and she starts pulling the shirt off you. She like literally like is slapping your pork belly and things like that. She thinks it's incredible, and she's like, right, and then she puts this thing in your mouth, and she's like, smoke that, and we'll see how things go.
Okay.
And then, do you want to, and you're going to imbibe?
yeah.
Okay, so Constitution saving throw.
This is like a stag party boat or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. 17. So you kind of take a heavy toke on this, whatever drug happens to be, and it's quite pleasing. You actually, everything kind of gets a bit lighter, and you start feeling a bit younger and a bit more vigorous, and you just kind of have this boost of energy. But you do start to see, whenever you're not looking at something directly, you kind of almost see like butterflies and weird things like forming in the edge of your vision, and it's a little bit psychedelic. But she kind of smothers you in this kind of cream. Things get quite vigorous in the evening. She tires you out. You're quite a vigorous man, but she works you hard.
He's a lazy lover.
Yeah.
I just sit there, you do all the work.
No, and she's fine with that. She's just like, oh, typical dwarf, and then she just kind of goes to town, basically.
I'm done.
Bouncing on the old hammer, you know.
Oh my god!
just
Welcome
like-
to the stream where Mark just
Gets
his
more and more
NPC
awkward.
just hits on everyone.
Yeah. Well,
It's all
you know,
fair.
I don't want to do this, but this is the character.
We're all tops.
Well,
I'm
two of
not.
you are, yeah. But yeah, she says, that's not the first time I've heard that line, and then she just goes to town. But you have a thorough evening. The ointment does help. But the next day, you just kind of find yourself feeling really nice, and you just kind of want to be a bit nicer to people. Like, you're just like, oh, you know, I'm feeling good. Like, these curmudgeons. Like, you just, you know, to be young again and things like that. You kind of got like a nice nostalgia buzz going on.
Is he really smiley and stuff?
I'd say so. Like,
Are you-
after
yeah?
the drug, you're
got
feeling
a
good.
little straw
It's
on.
feeling good.
If you walk past me and you smile, I'm just gonna throw a nut right at your face.
Oh, what's that for, my little chickadee?
Never call me that again.
Oh, all right.
I just kind of give you like a bro fist, like, you know, fist bump, like, yeah.
She knows what it's all about.
I'm retching. I'm trying to hoik up a fur ball.
I go over to
disgusting.
6 and give her a little scritch.
Oh, don't touch me there.
Well, behind the ears.
Yeah.
dread to think.
What's like the best spot for 6 on the old?
There's quite a few spots.
Not
behind
the belly.
Not the belly. Anywhere else but. Really.
Okay, so like, it
good.
is quite nice. Like you get the old.
You know. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, you like it really?
Stop it.
Oh, and Favour's just like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, and she like scritches your ears and things like that
Let's
as well.
read books. Favor.
Sorry. And she gets her books out. She like begins memorizing them, and she actually, you notice that occasionally she uses spells to like put the books away and things like that. Little mage hands now and
You
then.
must teach me this.
Oh, it's just a little spell. Have you not mastered? I've heard that you're a spellcaster yourself. Oh, I
Fire.
see. More one of those kind of spellcasters. I can show you a few things if you prefer. I'm more of a book. And she pulls out like an ornate-looking spell book, and she's like, I learn spells.
I tell you what. I put my paw over her face. I'll just read this.
No. And she kind of like gets her hands on it, and she's like tugging it back. She's like, no, please. This is
Knowledge is to be shared.
No, but this is my spell book. This is very, very precious. I can't lose
It
this.
can be ours.
You can read it with me.
Fine.
She's like, she
My
opens the
tail is
book.
going to try and take the book.
Oh, okay, yeah. So give me a sleight of hand check with disadvantage because your tail isn't, you know.
It's not very good.
It's not a hand.
10 plus shit all probably. Well, yeah. -1. Yeah. 9.
She manages to just be, and she's like bats your tail away, and she actually kind of conjures a mage hand that tries to like grab it and like just
Oh,
put
you
it
must
down.
teach me this too.
I will. Just don't touch my book. Don't touch my spell book, please.
Very well.
Please, 6, please. Thank you.
well.
Sorry, I'm just very precious about it. It was a gift, so yes. Okay, all right, fine. The temperature. You are on this boat for what seems like 7 or 8 days. You knew it would be a long trip from what you were told. On the 8th day, the temperature has risen to the point where going below decks is like entering a sauna. It's baking hot. The humidity is beginning to get to you. It's just draining heat, and you're kind of trying to cool down. The sea breeze is there, but the ship isn't traveling that fast. The wind isn't that strong. And then you hear Thomas, who you're currently scrambling, Fia's currently scrambling her way up to the crow's nest, and Thomas kind of looks over at you and he's like, Fia, can you see that? And he points off in the distance. Give me a perception check.
Not great. 13.
13. You squint and there is something that looks like it's kind of either heading in your direction or it's going in the same direction as you. I mean, you can make out like a tiny blip, like a shape, maybe something white, but that's all you can really see.
I'm gonna go down and prod old blue hair captain.
Ultimately's like,
Just prod her.
what is it, girl? What is it?
Do you see that?
See what? Thomas, can you see? What is it? And she kind of peers out. She's going to look and she's just like, it looks like a ship. That's strange. A little bit closer. The ship gets a bit closer. And Ruddle, who's the first mate, looks a bit like Patrick Rothfuss, big grey beard, sort of like crazy wild man hair, big sort of strong looking arms. He kind of like eyes it up and he starts peering. He's like, looks like big old brig ship, Captain. There's some sort of flag on it, from what I can see. Some sort of insect, maybe? When you guys give me a nature check. It's got like a long needle for a face.
12.
12,
13.
13,
16.
16 and 17. When he describes this creature, he's like, yeah, an insect, kind of bloated body, wings, long needle-like face. You've heard of that insect. What's it called? You're trying to remember, and then fear it comes to you
External
first.
carapace. It's hard and shell.
It's called a sturge.
Is it Flisk?
You do remember that Flisk's ship was called the Sturge. And as you kind of have this realization, the ship is drawing closer and closer, and you can see it's a brig, larger than your sloop, but just as fast. More sails, higher crew, normally slightly better armored as well, and it is very clearly on a trajectory to intercept.
Am I the only person who spotted that it's Flisks at the moment?
Six also knows the name of the insect being described.
I'm gonna point at it and go, motherfucker, he's over there, the little shit! I'm gonna go over to Kalar and be like, he's over there, the little... And I'm gonna get really angry and just stand at the very front of the ship, just glaring at it, holding a knife, just...
Okay.
My entire body erupts into a flame, mantle of flame.
So that affects everything around you as well. It's not like you have immunity, like other people. It's like normal
It's a
fire,
mantle of
right?
flame,
Yeah. It's
so
like,
it's
but it's other people around you. Like Favor leaps back.
I believe we have to kill a man now.
Automate looks over. It's like, Killer Man. What's this? What's that ship? Who's this man you're speaking of?
My love is upon that ship.
Your love?
He
What?
betrayed us with his beautiful blonde hair.
Oh, not that bastard.
Yes.
Miss Fia, make some sense, please. Lover, traitor, blonde hair. What's going on?
He's nobody's lover, okay? Let's just get that straight. Nobody was in love. Nobody was in love.
You don't know what lurks
Nobody
in my
was in
heart.
love.
The heart of a warrior.
Oh, you love everybody. Okay,
love you.
so... I'm gonna choose to ignore that.
Miss Kayla, be quiet for a second.
He has a rod.
He stole the staff from us.
Right.
He stole the treasure. We went to get it. He stole it.
From the tomb of Tan.
So he's
He
a thief.
betrayed us. He's
Yes.
a thief.
Ah,
He
he's a
betrayed us, and we
Bastard
need it back.
pirate.
He
then.
has the staff of a Tan.
I don't care about that, but if he's stolen from you, it's likely he's pirate scum, and that means he's probably gonna try and kill us or run us down.
And he broke my heart.
Well, we can't be having that, can we? So, she points to her crew. All of you, get your crossbows, man. Let's get those sails up. Let's try and outrun the bastard if we can. I
Don't
suppose.
damage the ship too much. I kind of want that.
Well, we'll try, but if anything, I'm going to try and avoid it as best I can. That ship's bigger than us, and if it collides with us, it'll smash us to pieces. Now, I suppose all of you are capable fighters, if nothing, well, perhaps not Cromsby. Cromsby, are you? What do you do?
Well, I order people around,
Well,
mainly.
that's good enough. You can stand up here with me, and we'll try and direct as best we can.
Oh, good. I like barking orders.
Yes, good.
And I like a woman who likes to bark orders, you know what I mean?
I do. I had to tell you what to do last night. And you can see the rest of the crew begin sort of like picking up crossbows, loading them up, and things like that. Steve's just giving us updates. Now,
Someone's been busy with arts and crafts.
Bigger boat. Not PHP.
Nope.
Yes.
May one borrow.
I'm going to have to make these squares 10 feet. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,
You
60.
may use this amazing mug.
That doesn't have spells in it, does it?
Available on store.yogscast.com.
Oh, nice. Nice plug. What a link.
There's the worst one. The worst one.
Okay. Now bear with me a moment here. So you see this enormous brig, this giant ship, making its way towards you. Upon it which you can see a number of crew rushing around the deck.
Are these from your Blood Bowl?
These are from Guild Ball, yes. But
Very
I'm using
nice
them
mini
because they are
mugs,
well
eh?
painted and they actually look quite apt.
They've got grass on them though. That's like breaking my immersion.
What?
You don't get
Oh,
grass?
I'm sorry.
Moss growing on the ship.
Yeah, they don't clean their deck.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need it. I've written all my spells down at the back. Thanks, sir.
Okay.
You can see this enormous ship beginning basically a trajectory to try and get close to you. As it does, you see standing at the wheel, kind of flowing blonde hair billowing in the background, red scarf trailing behind him, a curved blade at his side, and a hand crossbow kind of tucked into like a shoulder harness almost. Both hands on the wheel, just looks over, and you can see even from 60 feet away this grin, and he just waves his hand. He's just like, well, ahoy!
I'm just waving
Fancy
back.
seeing all of you here!
Hello, my love! I have returned!
I grab her hand
good.
and shove it down.
Oh, my
try.
love, Kalar! I don't suppose you want to throw me that thing you found in the Historical Society, do you?
Hey, I don't suppose you want to let me have a go on your rod, do you?
I'm afraid not. I'm too married to the sea. And then he kind of points down. He's like, well, I can see that this is only going to go one way. Sink that ship! I want what they have! And you can see the rest of the crew all beginning to pull out things like crossbows, grappling hooks, and most importantly, two of them in particular. One at the front turns around an enormous looking crossbow, a balliste, loaded with a large flat-headed bolt that he points at the hull of the Brazen Pegasus. And with that, we are going to roll some initiatives.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Natural 1.
Alright, I have got...
Boy.
Oh boy. Boom, boom. Where are my post-it notes? There they are. What
So,
can I do?
I have to remember your Uncharted territory names and not write your regular HighRollers names.
What's more confusing?
I turned into an earth elemental.
Shut up! No, you don't. No more elementals. Your name is Cromsby.
It is.
It's on the screen, Mark.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, mate. Right.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Ooh.
What page am I looking
Actually, we'll have that go as
How do we
set
stop a
initiative.
ballista?
at? Throw Cromsby at it?
Pretty fat stomach, so I'll do the job.
Just bounce it off.
6 initiative.
7.
Fia.
4.
Keelar.
14.
Keelar. Cromsby.
14.
Okay, and then the Brazen Pegasus crew is going to have just one big initiative for those guys. They're at 6. So, this ship, the Sturge, sails within, but you can see that Flisk actually turns the wheel to actually match, so you're currently broadsided. His ship does seem enough that it can catch up with you, because it was using a crosswind, but now that you're kind of level, he can basically keep it at a level distance. He doesn't show any signs of trying to ram you, but he is definitely keeping a distance between the two of you as his crew start crunking crossbow bolts and readying them to fire. And in fact, that's going to be the first thing that happens, is you're going to have a number of crossbow bolts fly through. Now, the majority of these, we're going to say 50% are going to go for the sails. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Boy,
5.
a lot of crew.
I'm just going to replace some of these guys because I'm going to have the blue guys as slightly different. Okay. So you can see that the ones that I've got in blue here, they actually seem to be wearing less armor, and they're kind of holding back and they're kind of taking position behind the masts. The others, all in red, all wear kind of like loose shirts, leather armor, they've got curved sabers, look like pirates with bandanas and everything else, with the mark of the Sturge tattooed on their arms. And they all run up with these crossbows and they begin unloading them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the sake of purposes, we'll say 2 of them are going into the sails and 3 of them are going to be shot at, who have we got? Keelar, and then some of the crew themselves. So, let's just do a bunch of rolls. I'm going to do a roll against Keelar first. So, Keelar, that's a 12 to hit you. So the first bolt just flies over your head. They have 2 attacks each. The second one is going to miss you as well. Against the other guys, one of the crewmen, one of not that guy, we'll say this one here, one of the Brazen Pegasus crew just takes a crossbow bolt and just goes down to the floor. They're not dead, but they're badly injured, and you can see them like hobbling against a bolt sticking out of their shoulder as the rest of the Sturge crew fire into the sails. And you can see these bolts tear through, but they have jagged tips which actually tear the sails as they pass through. Autome is yelling out to the crew. She's just like, "Get those sails down! We can't. If they wreck anymore, we won't be able to go anywhere. Get them down!" And she's like yelling at the crew, "You lot, you'll have to deal with that. I need my men to deal with this damage." And she's pointing and hollering at all of that, basically. The ones at the back seem to kind of hover back. 2 of them hold up their hands, and you can see a kind of burst of flame, and then they throw those out as well. They're actually going to target, so one of them is going to go after... One of them is going to go after the first mate, and then the other one's going to try and set a light to the sails. The one against the first mate misses. The one against the sails also goes wide, like they're kind of bobbing of the ocean. They kind of launch this firebolt, and it goes flies through the air as they sail across. And then Flisk is currently just maintaining the boat. He doesn't take any aggressive actions at this point. Keelar or Cromsby.
How far are we?
You are 60 feet, so each square between you is 10 feet. But once you get on the decks, it's 5 feet per.
So I can't really get over there, can I?
If you wanted to try something, you could try. It looks like the brig rises up about 10 feet out of the water. So if you swam over it, you'd have to climb up onto the side, onto the deck.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not a great deal I can do, to be honest, until we're closer.
what do you want to get closer? Because right now, Automay's trying to keep it at a distance. She doesn't want to get close to the ship, it seems. So what would you like to do?
I kind of want to get over there and pull up, but I might die.
That is always a risk in Dungeons and Dragons, I'm afraid.
I mean, it seems like a very Kim thing to do, to die in the second episode.
You're the tank.
Well, you got to think of what Kalar is as well. You got to think about what would Kalar do.
She'd want to get to Flisk.
Okay, then go after Flisk.
I just can't see the best way of doing it, like a way of swinging over, maybe, or.
At this distance, like, there's nothing to hook onto. Like, the mast of the ship probably come out like 10, 15 feet on the other side. But you'd either need something to try and hook onto it, like you'd need to try and like throw a grapple or something like that. But you need something at least 30 feet long to try and do that.
I have manacles.
Those aren't going to help you.
I have a 50-foot hemp rope.
Okay. Do you have anything like the rope on its own? You'd have to try and lasso it, like with a knot or something like that, which would be quite hard. If you have a grapple, you could probably try
I don't
that.
have a grapple.
Okay, what are you doing then?
I don't know.
So, do you want to delay your turn?
I will. Yeah, I'll have to. Is there anyone I can help, like on our ship?
You can help anybody, so you can take the help action, which will give them advantage. But what do you want to? Who do you want to help with? What?
So did you say someone gets shot?
Yeah, there was a guy. One of the crew actually. I'll knock them down so that they're not actually removed. Whoops. One of the crew took a crossbow bolt in the arm and is like ducked underneath what they can for cover. But like they're literally trying to. They're like, their arm is like heavily bleeding. They've got a
And
crossbow
did you
bolt
say
sticking
stuff
out
was
their
on
arm.
fire and stuff?
No,
Not
none of
yet.
the firebolt hit yet.
Okay, can I just aid that guy and like I don't have anything.
Do you want to try and do like stop the bleeding?
Stop the bleeding. I've
Medicine
got
check.
like.
Yep,
yeah.
medicine check, please.
Pulls out the crossbow.
Well, I've got a -2 and I
So
rolled
it's
a 2.
a 0.
So it's a 0. So you go in, you're like, and then you just yank this crossbow bolt. The the woman screams as you actually realise that it's one of these jagged tipped crossbow bolts, and it just tears through the flesh. She's like, what are you doing? Oh!
I'm so sorry.
And she's just screaming in your face, and like everyone's looking down. You probably have not helped this woman in any way. She's probably actually going to be down longer because this injury has just got a lot worse. The bleeding is actually very strong, like blood is pouring out
I
the
feel
wound.
bad already, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, just want to like, you know.
Crumsby,
Hello.
what would you like to do?
Did you say that the big bolts that they're firing at us, you say they've got metal tips?
So the ones that the
Like
guys are
the
firing,
ballista ones.
the ballista one has like a big sort of heavy kind of studded metal. So it looks like it's wood, but then it's kind of got like a metal shell encased and then bolted around it to make it impact harder.
If I was to cast heat metal on that, could I get it hot enough to maybe set the
fire
things?
to it? Yeah, you could try.
Yeah, can I do that?
Okay, so you conjure heat metal, that's one of your spell slots.
Yeah.
So you kind of look over, and you know a few arcane tricks. You probably have like some sort of like little talisman or something like that, like for your spell casting. You're like, this should do.
Yeah, just like a litter of coins and just like knickknacks.
So you just
it in
pull
my
this thing
pockets.
out, and you're like, and you kind of ignite it, and you kind of spark the magic of this talisman, and you watch as the ballista bolt head starts to glow red hot, like as in burning hot, and the wooden sort of long bolt of the ballista catches on fire. The guy who's manning it, eyes go wide in alarm, but this is all happening at once, and he just has a bit of a panic. So how effective that'll be, you'll have to see how he deals with it. So that's your action. Would you like to move anywhere? You're currently down on the front of the ship. Would you want to move up next to the captain?
Yeah, I'll go up with Automate.
Like you kind of push everybody out of the way, and you kind of make your way up to the front of the ship, the back of the ship, I should say. Right. You see Flisk yelling at this hulking brute of a man who has these two big sort of like meat cleavers in his hands. He like tucks them into his belt, and like he looks around, and Flisk basically throws him a rope and a grappling hook. This big guy, he makes his way, pushing all the others out the way as he steps up to the side of the boat, puts one enormous booted foot on the side, gets this rope and begins. He throws it. and it catches onto the edge of the Sturge's mask. He gives it a few tugs, and then he attempts to swing across. He swings, he gets to about here, but mischimes the let go and jump, smacks straight into the side of the sloop, but has like hands up on the side. But yeah, takes like a whopping, boat to the face effectively.
Take a boat to the face.
Boat to the face.
Trucker.
It's not too bad. You basically hear like a loud thud and a grunt, and then you just see these massive hands pulling himself up onto the edge of the thing. And yeah, that's pretty much what he does on his turn. Let's see here. He's gone. That is actually going to be the Brazen Pegasus crew. So most of the crew set to work. This one we're going to have to make some checks for. Most of them set to work at pulling down. They start like doing things like getting the sails to collapse in and things like that because they don't want the sails to take too much more damage. One of them will try and shoot a crossbow bolt over, trying to take out the Ballistae crew member. It hits 5 points. So the man kind of on the ballista takes a crossbow bolt, like it cuts through most of his shirt and armor, and he's like looking around in a bit of a panic, unsure of what to do. And in fact, actually on his turn, I'm going to give him a wisdom saving throw to see how much of his wits he keeps about him with this glowing ballistae. He's actually kind of has the kind of presence of mind. He like looks at the wound, but then he sees this thing burning and on fire, and he can see it kind of the fire getting closer and closer to the arms of the crossbow and the rope, and he just fires it into the ship instead. He fires it at the Brazen Pegasus instead, trying to get it onto the deck itself. However, it looks like the wound he took and the sort of panic, he fires it and it actually just plops into the sea. He kind of curses, and you can see him then like lumbering over and trying to pull out another one of these big heavy bolts and trying to load it back onto the ballistae instead. But yeah, it looks like it just into the side of the ship instead. And then that is going to be 6.
Okay. I go to the edge as much as possible,
So you
looking
move,
into the
down
water.
here.
I see my reflection.
Yeah, like stares up at you, these choppy, rolling waves.
But I gain my focus with my mantle of flame.
Okay.
And I send out Scorching Ray, which is 3 beams of fire at 3 different targets. One's going to be the ballista operator.
Okay, and what's the range on these rays?
They are, I think it's 120 feet.
That's more than enough.
120 feet.
Perfect.
So I'm going to target 3.
Okay,
one of the
ballista.
One of the ballista, one Flisk.
One Flisk directly.
And the other one, whoever's closest to those people.
Okay, so yeah, probably like one of these guys at the front here. Okay, so you make ranged spell attack rolls.
Yep.
So first one, ballista.
Each.
Yep. So it's 2d6 fire damage per one.
Well, that's an extra one.
So the motion of the boat and the water, you're like, and you almost cut off a hairball.
Focus. That's better. 18 plus 6.
Flisk. He just takes
24.
the 2d6.
2d6, but I've got Mantle of Flame, so add my charisma bonus to that. 4, 5, 8 points of damage.
So you hear Flisk like narrowly duck out of the way as this like it singes past his hair. He's like, you damn cat, you almost burned my hair off!
His hair!
Burn thief. And I'm going for the other one, obviously.
Okay.
These all go out at once, so that's 5 plus 6, 11.
11 against the crew. No, this crew manages to just duck underneath as the burning ray flies overhead and just sails across the ship. The one that did hit Flisk, you do catch some of the wood on fire, and he's like putting himself out, and then he's like, one of you, get up here, grab one of the pails, deal with these fires. 6, buddy, I thought we were friends!
Put up a cat middle finger, and I'm going to actually twin that spell, if possible. Or
You have to do that. You have to do it when you cast
Never
it.
mind
You have to
then.
spend the sorcery point to do it.
Never mind.
Also, I think with twin spell, it has to be at a single target, and then you spend it to another caster, another target.
Okay.
You can't use twin spell on multi-target things.
Okay.
I don't think. We'll check that. We'll read that. We'll read that in post. Okay.
In my book.
Fear.
Would this guy be considered my ally within 5 feet of this guy?
So what I will say is,
No,
because he is not focusing on fighting him, no. He's currently busying himself with
So
ropes
nobody's
and things like
close
that.
enough to-
Nobody's distracting him to give you the sneak attack.
Damn it!
But I would say he's hanging off the edge. If you attack him, I will make him do a skill check. If he passes, it's a normal attack. If he fails, you have advantage, and then you would get sneak attack. Because you are basically stabbing him and he's trying to swing out of the way and
I
stuff
want
like that.
to use my rapier and just try. Yeah.
So you pull out the rapier and you're just trying to jab down onto him. Okay, I'm going to give him an acrobatics check, which he's not the best at. No, he's like trying to like move out the way, but he's so open to you get the sneak attack in. So you have advantage, and if you hit, you'll do sneak attack damage.
25.
25 is easily going to hit this guy.
So I get sneak attack as well. New damage things. 2, 3, 6, and then
I can't remember what 3d6 for your sneak attack.
So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage.
17. So you stab down and you catch him like along the neck, causing this vicious scar, like it starts bleeding profusely. But the man just looks at it and then his face just starts foaming up and you can start seeing like all this kind of like foamy blood in his mouth. He's just like, and he starts climbing up, trying to like reach up. And he's gonna try and grab you.
I'm gonna...
This is on his turn.
I'm gonna disengage.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So you
And
spend bonus action and then leap back away from the side.
Can I help the crew
No, I'd say because you've like leapt in, stabbed him, and then you're disengaging away, you're focused on trying to stay defensive from him.
I'm just going to disengage and try and maybe get some cover around as much as I can.
Yeah. You can definitely take cover from the crossbow bolts and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So at this point, this all goes on. One of the crew rushes up and starts putting out the fires on the boat. These guys step forward. One of these more mages is going to step forward. Flisk points over at you, and he's like, "You three," he points to the ones in blue. He's like, "Get him down. He's a big risk." And they all point at 6. He mentions to the crossbowman, he's just like, "Would you please kill, I don't know, her? She's dangerous." And he points over at
I'm just gonna middle fingers.
So, against you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crossbow attacks.
6 attacks!
Holy moly.
He still loves me though.
So the first one is only a 9 to hit. Second one is a 10 to hit. These guys aren't particularly good on a boat.
Need
9.
15.
Yeah. That one's going to hit. That was that one. Okay, so out of those, only 2 actually hit you, but you're still going to say...
Uncanny dodge.
So you're going to uncanny dodge one of them. First or second? Because it affects the damage I just rolled.
Oh, I don't know.
Pick.
Second.
Second? Okay. So on the second attack, you would have taken 3. You're going to take 1. On the first attack, you take 7.
Damn it.
Oh, well.
So I did
8.
it fairly. I didn't
8?
tell you.
Yeah.
So 8 total as these 2 crossbow bolts fly into you. 2 of the mages step up and they begin and 3 purple bolts fly out from each of them. So this is going to be basically 2 magic missiles hitting you.
I understand, and I just take the hits.
4, 5. That's 9. That's 12 from the first one. That's 8. 11 from the second one. As you are just, these things just barrage you. But you can see that the mages kind of that exhaust them. They're like,
They really hurt. I take a step back. I stumble back. Kind of.
okay.
Onto something.
Yeah, so these bolts just absolutely pound into you.
That really hurt.
Yeah. And so that was 1, 2, 3. And then this last crewman is actually going to help the ballista guy load up the ballista. It takes 2 of them to load it. So they begin and then winding the crossbow, the heavy ballista back. That is their go. Flisk is going to look over. He's like, he sees you kind of like standing there, and he can see the big guy kind of trying to pull himself up. And he's like, "Kalar, my love, I did prepare this for 6, but he's looking pretty bad." And he pulls out his hand crossbow, and he's going to take an aim, and he tries to fire it at you. So this is going to be Flisk. Ah, damn it. I'm rolling like absolute garbage tonight. That's going to be 11 to hit you. So this crossbow bolt just like bounces off your leather armor, and as it lands on the floor, you can see it was kind of coated in something. It's just like, "Oh, damn it!" And then he's
My
like,
heart, my love, the prince of my seas. I love playing rough with you, but that was perhaps a bit too far. And my face kind of just drops at the end.
he's just like, "Will somebody please kill these people? I want that staff head!" And he just cries that out. Kalar Cromsby, who would like to go?
Mages first.
I like to smash
Barbarians first.
I want to smash up the big dude.
Okay, so he's
I
currently
wanna-
clinging onto the side.
yeah,
what do you
I
want to
wanna-
do? Just lean over and start
I want
wailing
to
on
attack
him?
him, but like trying to kind of go for his hand. So I'm trying to like cut him off.
Okay, are you attacking him or do you want to try and like launch him off?
I'd like. What would a launch be? What check would that
Like as in like, well,
Like,
what do you want to do? Don't worry about the check, just tell me what you want to do.
I want to attack him, like damage him, but like
Okay.
if I can like maybe sever a few tendons in his hands.
Okay,
that
yeah, I
would be
mean,
great.
you can try and aim, but he's moving around, so, you know, he's going to try and, like, swing on his hands and prevent you from doing that. So make an attack roll. I will see if he has, nope. So you have advantage to attack him.
19
Okay,
Roll again in case you get the crit.
yeah.
Plus
If you've got
6.
advantage, roll and see if you get a crit. You're going to hit him
plus 6.
with that roll.
19 plus
Yeah,
6.
so you easily hit him.
25.
Yep,
Two-handed, so that's a D10.
yep. D10 plus strength.
6.
6 points. Yeah, 6 points. You kind of slam the your battle axe, like your axe blade, your bat'leth, down, and you don't kind of chop his fingers, but you do cut into his arm as he's trying to swing around. But that just seems to make him even more mad,
Cool.
and he just gets very, very angry at you. Cromsby.
I have an
Oh.
extra attack.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you do. I keep
Squeeze
forgetting
me.
that you're a martial character. Like you've got extra attack.
Squeeze me.
It's your job to tell me. So go on.
Natural 1.
Natural one. You have
Advantage,
advantage because he's currently like hanging off the edge.
Also, because you're
Why
are you
roll
raged?
so far?
No, she's not raging. And
It's
she doesn't get
over
advantage.
there.
She doesn't get advantage on attack rolls when
5?
she rages. It was a 5.
Plus 6.
No, still not enough. He kind of like, as you swing down, he kind of just like swings his arm out the way, and you just kind of impact onto the wooden side of the boat.
You're not
As he
supposed to
swings.
hit the boat, Kayla.
Thank you.
Cromsby.
Helping.
So is that bloke still climbing up the side?
You don't really have a seat. All you can see is
boring.
Fia and Kayla just trying to attack something on the side of the boat.
Can I run over to the edge?
Where are you?
So I'll move.
He's up there.
Kayla moved here. Fia moved around. You kind of push this guy out the way.
Yep.
And I undo my flies and urinate
It just-
on to him.
Onto him directly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Into his face.
What?
It's just like that. I don't think that that's going to cause him to like let go. He's
No.
just kind of going to be like he's just like he would still rather hold on to a ship than like not be peed in the face. But he is just like frothing at the mouth, like it goes in his mouth. He's like,
He's so angry when he gets up here, you know that.
and in fact, he is very angry. And seeing that, he was going to try and pull Kayla down, but now that he just goes for your unzipped trousers and makes a grab.
I hope it's small.
This episode.
Give me a
Sorry,
a
Greg.
dex check with disadvantage
Or
because you're not very nimble and you've got your trousers down.
a 5.
Okay. He just basically he doesn't grab you, but he grabs your like now loose trousers.
Yeah.
He grabs those and pulls you, basically hauling you off the side of the ship. But he kind of like, what do you want to try and grab onto him or grab onto the boat? What do you
I'll
want
try
to
and
try
grab
and do?
onto the boat.
Okay, so give me a dexterity saving throw.
4.
4. You try and grab onto the boat. You don't go in the water. You just basically, you do manage to kind of get a grip, but you are like right on the side, like half underwater, like trying to pull yourself up. Like, and you're going to have to keep making checks so that the
Okay.
current doesn't pull you away, basically.
Off he goes.
And then as his movement, Kayla, I'd say you're going to get an attack against him. He's going to move up.
I would like to attack him.
Yes.
12 plus 6
That's
is
gonna hit him.
18 math.
Yep.
Nice math. What's that?
9 plus 3.
9 plus 3 damage, that's 12. Yeah, he looks, you actually, like, various cuts in him now, he's blooded, but he's still just, like, his huge muscles, he looks probably stronger than you are, and he's just like, and he just looks like he wants to go ham.
I wish that you and I met in a different life.
He just yells at you.
You're a great match.
I'm sorry, Steve, I'm sorry. Now, I got this slightly in the wrong order, it's actually 6 now. Sure go.
Oh, it's my go.
I know, I got
you were just on the number.
the wrong order last time.
Okay. I'm sick of this. Fireball.
You launch a fireball over there?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of expected this. Where are you placing it? It's a 20 foot. So you're going to place it there. So it's going to go 5, 10,
What do you get mass amount?
20. Now, these two aren't going to be hit.
Yeah, but it's the majority.
This one is going to have an advantage on the deck save because it has cover from the mast. So will Flisk and this guy. So I'll do Flisk first because he's got a high deck save. His advantage. Yep. Flisk actually completely avoids the damage. He actually like ducks beneath the wheel and the flames just wash over him. The guy next to him has advantage. He's going to take half damage because I rolled a 17 straight away. This one is also going to take half damage. So these two are taking half damage already, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Flisk is here. He's the guy that looks different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more deck saves. What's your DC?
My DC is... Oh, good question.
I think it's like 14.
Yeah, 14. Sorry.
Okay, that's a fail. That's a pass. Oh man, now I'm rolling really well. So hang on. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 have passed, and then I've got a mate, and one's failed. So that's 3 more. Pass, pass. Fucking hell. Fail. So two are going to take full damage. Everybody else is taking half.
Okay.
It's still 8d6.
8d6
plus charisma mod because
plus
you're
my charisma mod.
Flame of Mantle.
Oh god. Alright. 32.
32. So I can tell you
16
now.
for all the halfies.
16 for the halfies. Okay. So 1.
Nice.
2. The 2 that took the full brunt of it are vaporized. Their bodies are set on fire. They fall off the ship. Ah, Wilhelm scream style.
It's a
and in fact, actually, no, it
catastrophe.
was 32 full, right? 16 half.
32 full.
Oh my god!
Yeah, boy.
Jeez.
At this, like, the explosion detonates on the deck of the ship, launching most of the men who are holding crossbows and these mages out into the waters. They just literally leap off the sides of the ship. Fliss kind of like, the ship is now on fire. Do you just want to put your fire tokens all around here, basically? So
Just all over there.
yeah, it's like, the ship is just burning, and Flisk just like looks over and he's like, to the 9 hells with you bastards! And then he begins spinning the ship to try and basically pull away. But he basically barks one order. He's just like, Bartholomew, kill as many of them as you can. Make sure they can't follow us. You two, put a hole in that boat. And then he begins tilting the ship away. So that was 6's go. After 6, it is the Brazen Pegasus crew. These guys, sensing that it's turning in their favor, they are basically going to try and get this crazy guy off their ship to stop him. Only a few of them can get around him, though. We got 1, 2, 3. Nope. All 3 of them just kind of like wail on him, but he's spinning his blades around and none of them can really get a match on him, but they're desperately trying to fend him off with their blades as they launch into it. The Balliste crew finally finish and they're going to try one last shot at the Brazen Pegasus. That is going to hit the Balliste, ka-tung! And this huge bolt just smashes into the lower deck of the ship, and you hear wood splinter, and you hear Automate just go like, damn and blast! Somebody get downstairs and start plugging that hole before we sink! And a couple of the crew rush off to do that. But because you've got so many of the crew left, you get the sense that they're confident they can do that.
It doesn't have a rope attached.
It doesn't have a rope attached, no. It's just like, it's to puncture holes in your ship. But it does start, you feel the drag of the ship now that the sails have been taken in and now that you're taking water, the Brazen Pegasus begins to slow down as this ship kind of does this. And then as they're sort of starting to pull away and the ballista's fired, Flisk is just like, you two, put this fire out! And he's like directing them and you can see that they're pulling out like sand and things like that. But it's not looking good for the Sturge. Fia, you'll go.
Can I hit this guy?
So you're going to just like sneak up behind him?
Right here.
Okay, yeah.
They're attacking now, right? So
Yes, yeah, you straight away you get sneak attack if you hit him.
Yeah. 19.
That's a hit.
D6 to that.
So 8, 9, 10 plus
3d6.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, she's a high level rogue. She's not shitty cam level 1 rogue.
Take that.
18.
18, wow. So that's going to be
Eck.
And
Okay.
Then I shall disengage again to run away from him.
Okay, you just like
don't
literally
wanna
leap
be
down the
hit.
ship.
And I will stand at the edge of the ship, just shouting curse words at Flisk as he sails away.
It's like literally pulling away.
Like really horrible curse words.
So yeah, literally at this point, the Sturge actually turns away and begins pulling off, and you can see the crew desperately pulling it out. The chap that you guys are fighting, he's so injured. Like, I mean, Kalar, you're going to get to go first. You might as well just hit him because he doesn't get a turn. He gets a turn after you.
What if
So-
I want to dive into the sea and go for
If you want to go, yeah, by all means. Well, technically, Cromsby is still down there, so we need to stay in initiative, actually. So that's the soldiers are putting out some of the fire.
Forgot about you.
I'm drowning.
Flisk is directing the ship.
With no trousers.
Flisk will take a parting shot. He'll load his crossbow and he'll shoot at 6.
Bring it.
That is a 9.
We didn't bring it.
It's just like he's like leaning behind him, like gangster style, shooting sideways. Like the bolt just falls out. He's like just curses madly.
Ego got the better of you.
Yeah, it did. Kalar.
So this guy's looking super injured.
He looks really injured, but he is like raging. He's like, rah, rah. He looks like he could do some damage if he decides to attack. Natural 1. Second attack.
This dice is getting
It
fucking
does not like you.
thrown away.
That can go in the fuck off pile as well.
16.
16 plus your bonus.
Plus
Yeah, you're gonna hit him.
6.
Yep, you're gonna hit him.
That one can
See if you can
stay.
finish him off.
6 plus 3, 9.
So close, yet so far.
66. Okay, so you impale him like with the bat'leth, and he's just like, and his eyes kind of roll back, but then in like one last surge, he's just like, and he's going to attack 1 on Kalar and 1 on 6. He's got these 2 big meat cleavers. So Kalar,
He's going to take
that's
5
going to be
damage.
a 9. He's going to die anyway. Like 9 to
die
hit
by
you.
5.
Sorry. 6. That is a 18.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be 8 points of damage. But as he leeches, he kind of like he hits Kalar,
down?
and then he turns on 6, and he's just like, "Lah!" He impales a meat cleaver in your chest, but then the flames just trace up like his arm, and then he just collapses to the ground
I smelled
fire.
consciousness.
as he dies to your mantle as you burn. So Cromsby, I need you to give me a strength saving throw, friend.
Fucking hell.
Oh, that's pretty good. And you're pretty strong.
I am pretty
actually.
strong, I think.
Well, you're not strong. Well,
I'm alright.
Stronger than
It was only 17.
17. That's enough. You're like, bah, bah, and you start pulling yourself up. Let's say, what would you say the percentile chance of your trousers being washed away is? 50%?
It's probably quite high if they're around my little ankles.
I'd say 50%.
Cankles.
Fair.
So 0 to 50. 80.
Oh.
The trousers are full of water, like your pockets are like just drenched.
They're like seaweed.
Oh, it's like seaweed everywhere.
What I
But
hope
you're
for
getting
seaweed.
Cromsby pulls himself up on the ship, you get a rope, and you pull yourself over. The burned body just falls into the water behind you. You like kick it off a little bit, like, get out.
That'll teach you. You this head.
And this thing, blah, 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 flies back. So 6 is technically down. Whose go would it be next? 6, give me a death saving throw. That's a fail. So after you, it is the Brazen Pegasus crew. Automate will basically have Ruddle take the ship, and she's going to try and medicine you, stabilize you. She succeeds. So Automate rushes up, and she's just like, "Oh, bloody silly cat! What are you doing facing a barbarian like that?" And she pulls out some sort of weird herb and starts stuffing it in the cleave wound, and then bandaging it up with sort of like torn parts of the sail that have fallen down. And she just bandages it up. You're stabilized. You're at 0. I don't want to make you think. You're not alive. You're not conscious. You are.
Dream that.
And yeah, we're out of initiative as the ship has to slow down enough. The sailors below deck desperately fixing the hull, plugging it up. You can hear hammering and sort of the plunging of things. A lot of your supplies have been soaked as well as the water that entered, but not enough to like really hamper your expedition. And the sails need to be repaired. But yeah, sadly the Sturge sails off into the distance. Now, after it does get repaired, Automay kind of looks at you and she's like, well, that was a bit exciting. Now, we can probably chase after that bastard if you'd like.
Yes.
But it looks like he's sailing away from the port.
Sailing away from the port.
Ports, she kind of indicates a direction. He's at least heading sideways. And the currents, it'll take him a day or two to fight his way back.
Where's he going? Do you know anything else?
Probably trying to sail around one of the coasts of Chult. She does indicate... Oh, it's down there on the other side. It fell down. Let me see your map that you got given from Lady V. And you pull out a map that Lady V gave you. And she indicates on it. She's like, now this, looking at the map, this is the port Nyanzaru. And it looks like Lascalar is headed around this way. Towards the Mist Cliff.
He has the staff.
If we chase after him, it will delay our arrival in Port Nyanzaru by days, perhaps. Also, I should warn you that the seas around Chult are filled with sharks, dire sharks, and a particularly nasty dragon turtle. If it appears, it's going to demand treasure from us, and we don't want to be fighting that, I can tell you. A vicious bugger named Aramag.
There's 20,000 gold waiting if we go to that port and do what we're supposed to do.
Yes, I mean,
the
what
thing
was it,
is-
20 days until she dies, so I think it's
She
best.
can't pay up if she's dead.
Exactly. I think we should move forward. Bollocks to Flisk.
Also, he needs my golden orb to make the staff complete.
Yes.
So chances are we will encounter him again.
We've got the head start on him now.
Favor pokes up from behind a load of boxes, like, is it over?
Yes, my darling.
Oh,
I offer a hand.
I don't know what to do. She kind of like takes it gingerly and she kind of gets pulled up. She looks like she's just literally been crouched behind a bunch of boxes. You can see her books are like spread out like in a panic, like they've fallen about the place. I don't know what to do. When that man came aboard, he looked like he was going. He killed Six. He killed him. Six is dead. She's like pointing at Six's body. He's like, he's dead.
He's not dead. He's unconscious.
What?
He's sleeping.
He's having a little nap. A cat nap.
Yeah.
Catnap.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I'm just gonna,
dead.
I'm just
No,
gonna
he's
prod him.
fine.
And
And I'm
after
just like
about
trying
an
to
hour,
calm her down.
you have like 1 hit point.
That went well.
Can I waddle over to him and cast Cure Wounds?
Yeah, you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, go on.
Put
Go
some
on.
trousers
So you
on.
can cast it at a high level if you want to do more d8. So you can cast it like a second level for 2d8. Third
Yeah,
level
you're not
3d8.
used to this.
Yeah, I'm not used to
malarkey.
this.
You're not used to slots and things like that.
yeah.
No. So you have a certain number of slots per day, and you can use high level slots to boost it. Or you can just do a level 1/1, and you'll get a d8 plus your charisma mod.
While this
Yeah,
is
go
all
on.
happening,
I'll
I'm
just
going
do-
to try
I'll just
and
do a
calm
level
down
1/1.
Favor.
Honestly, put some trousers on. The human.
Oh yeah, like there's just like seaweed hanging out at the moment. So you pull them up.
No,
Oh,
they're
you just leave them.
they're just hanging at the moment. Oh, that was that was one.
Enjoy
So
that.
your
What was it
charisma
with my
modifier?
charisma?
Enjoy that 1
3.
HP.
So 4.
Four. There you go.
Slap on the back.
There you go, my lad.
Oh, I didn't realise
Give him a pat on the head.
how powerful you were. Thank
I
you.
know. It's all in the trousers, can't you see?
Yes, I feel like you might have lost some of your power last night.
Oh, well, you know, she was a bit of a handful, you know what I mean?
I certainly am.
I start retching.
I
Oh, is that a
believe.
fur ball you've got there?
Yeah.
That's what you get for licking your own testicles.
Now, Sir
They need to be
Cromsby,
cleaned.
I think that we need to give Master Six a due. If it wasn't for his sorcery there, I think we would have been in for a slightly worse off scenario.
Oh,
Did
yes.
we-
Well done to you.
Did we sink the Sturge?
No.
No, but you killed
What?
a lot of their crew, from what I can tell.
It looked like,
What
I
about
mean,
Flisk?
he's had to retreat.
He's still alive.
Got away.
Was that your fault?
No.
We're currently deciding, and I believe that so far it's 2 votes to nothing to go to Port Nyanzaru and not chase after him. Now,
Alright.
I'm simply here to... Are you happy to go to the
I
port?
agree to go to the
Very
port.
well,
He will
then.
come back for us again.
Very well. Favor is just like, yes, I think that might be good. Jessamine is waiting for us. A delay would be most unfortunate.
I'm simply catatonic right now.
That was a very funny joke.
Yes, it masks the severe pain I'm in. Favor.
I have a scroll that might be able to help.
Oh, good. Please wipe it on my face.
No, a magic scroll. I don't have to if
Show
it's
me.
not a good idea.
Show me.
She holds it up, looking at it, some sort of healing magic.
Very well.
Yes.
Are you trained in
Yes, I can read
arts.
scrolls, yes.
Very well.
This time you get 11 hit points back as she kind of reads it off and the writing fades.
Now that is how you do spell casting.
No, it was just like this scroll.
But the perfect way to do it is by perfect, intricate writing. A beautiful way of casting.
See, if I was given that scroll, I'd have just shoved it up your arse. That would have got you going, wouldn't it?
Technically, no, the magic wouldn't have taken an effect if you'd done that. You have to recite the ancient. I'm gonna go. She kind of like sorts down to the ship. Automaze just looks like, well, so straight onto the port then, I take it.
Yes.
Be prepared. There's a chance we might encounter Aramag anyway, but it's a slim chance. The dragon turtle I mentioned
it has
earlier.
a name.
Yes,
Great.
it's known. It sometimes, not always, it sometimes accosts travellers making their way into the bay, demanding treasure, and the amount varies every time. You have to give it different amounts. Or it eats you. It sinks your ship and eats you. We might get lucky. I've encountered him only twice, and I gave him a 50p gemstone. The other time I gave him 10 gold's worth of rations, and he seemed pretty pleased. Very.
Will we get a discount, seeing as he knows you?
No, sadly not.
Yeah, bollocks.
No, he's a strange old dragon beast thing. Doesn't seem to care much for us folk.
Fascinating.
Well, you might get to meet him. It takes another day to get to the Bay of Khazar. You get a long rest. Everybody gets a long rest. Hit points. I'm gonna incorporate for this campaign, by the way. You don't automatically get all your hit points back when you take a long
we have
rest.
to hit
You
dice?
can hit dice, but you still get half your hit dice back.
Oh,
on a
okay,
long
so
rest.
the standard.
So it's just because I feel like, for my own games, I found that you magically heal all wounds in a single night is a bit BS, and it prevents like people from actually just getting on
I
with
was
stuff.
down 8. I healed 8.
There you go.
That was good.
I know. I'm very annoyed about that. I
What's,
missed a lot of you, and then but when it came to saving throws,
Oh,
that
yeah,
didn't
you got
matter
those.
because they died anyway.
Is it a d6 for a sorcery?
For sorcery, yes, only a d6, I'm afraid, matey.
Plus con. 4.
Did I kill this woman, by the way?
Oh yeah. That's a good point. I didn't actually check.
Oh
for her.
yeah. How are they doing?
No, she was injured. Nasty Scott. She does not like you, but
That's fair. That's fair.
very well. Well, we can ignore the shipwrecked section that I prepared. In case you guys.
Goody!
In case, well, it was in case you guys did get shipwrecked. In case things had gone badly. I did suspect a fireball would see you quite through. That is your map, by the way. You guys can keep this. This is the map that Lady V gave you. It is not complete. It doesn't. Unfortunately, it still has the watermark because I was given an early copy of the module. But that is for you guys.
It is our duty to fill this in. We must explore every inch of this island.
Oh, good luck with that, little cat boy.
Little. You're a gnome.
Yes, but I'm big of heart.
And big of something else too.
Big personality.
Let's go with that.
Yes.
Before I get.
Chult is a huge jungle. It'd be charting the whole thing is a lifetime
A
accomplishment.
wonderful challenge.
Oh, by all means, by all means. You'll certainly be famous if you do.
I already am.
It takes another day to reach the port. You do not encounter Arameg, the dragon turtle. The dragon turtle. The war turtle. Instead, the humidity builds to the point where it is exhausting, and you sail into a vibrant, bustling port city. The heat and humidity of the tropical city hit you immediately. It is oppressive and draining, but the locals seem unfazed. They greet you warmly and nod and smile at your approach. Street vendors lined up along the docks hawk wares, tribal amulets, lizard meat on sticks. The sellers all speak in a language you don't understand, with rolling R's, tongue clicks, and sing-songy words that make it sound musical. A language that Favor seems quite adept in. The port itself is an explosion of colour. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, and pink. Walls are adorned with murals, and each building has hanging pots and baskets of beautiful flowers and plant life. Autumn remains on the ship. She bids you all fond farewell. Now, I'll be remaining for a few days, 10 possibly, 15 perhaps. I'm here to take you back when you need to, otherwise we'll be staying in a local inn, and she points to a small grubby building on the docks. We'll be waiting. After those 15 days, however, I will be returning to Waterdeep, and you'll have to secure your own travel.
Okay.
Don't worry, we'll find Flisk's ship. and we'll have that.
Well, by all means, the seas will be a lot safer without a ruddy pirate like him travelling around.
If you see him,
I'll let you know. I'll send one of my boys if we spot him in the city.
I'll have to go this alone so that I can chart the entire island in that time. And we'll split the money still, right?
What?
you said you didn't want the money.
What?
Remember?
Food and sustenance, maybe like 10 gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
you
well,
can
that's
have
all right.
10.
Only 10. Yes.
Yes.
Give that to you out of my own pocket.
Kayla, you wish to chart the entire
Of
island?
course, my furry friend.
Right.
Well, your business is now your business. Favor kind of like meekly comes forward and she's like, well, the first order of business is we should find Jessamine. That's Lady V's contact. She's one of the merchant princes here in Port Nyanzaru. They kind of pretty much run everything. They also monopolize on certain trades and things like that. I believe Jessamine's is in exotic herbs and things like that, and flowers and that sort of thing. There's a lot of foliage and jungle life here in Cholt. I think that she'll probably be in one of two places. It's most likely she'll be at her villa, which is in one of the richer areas called the Red Bazaar. But there's a likely chance she might be enjoying the dinosaur races, which take place in the Grand Colosseum. Each of the merchant princes has a box there. Sorry?
Dinosaur races.
Yes. Do you know dinosaurs? What these creatures are?
Yes, prehistoric creatures.
Yes. Well, they're quite common here in Cholt, and they race them. It's a very popular sport, very, very common. People like to make bets on them. A lot of money to be made.
That sounds like my sort of thing.
Yes.
Breathing dinosaurs.
Yes. They roam the jungles in packs. And she points, and you can see an enormous beast, probably 4 horses combined size. 3 large horns, one on its nose and then 2 large with a large kind of circular shield-like bone structure around its head, a triceratops. Loaded with packs, kind of draped over its back on a webbing. It's being led by a few traders who are like, bah! And they're kind of shouting to it and it's being pulled along. And the streets here are just bustling. You can see smaller dinosaurs, like almost on like little leashes being led through. People are eating them. People are like eating them like a chicken. Like they've got like roasted dinosaurs that they're biting into.
Okay, Kayla.
I just grab his arm and I'm like, we have to get ourselves one of those.
We are not charting the entire island. It's just impractical.
Why not?
We can't do it.
But what if we
don't-
get one of these to ride?
No.
Crom.
Yes.
If we got a really big dinosaur and we
like the
trained
big
it,
one over there.
and we
Thank you,
trained it,
dinosaurs.
yeah, but if we trained it really well,
Yes.
maybe we can make some money off of this bet thing.
That sounds like a good idea.
No, I'm not going
I
near.
think we could roam the forests on the back of this magnificent
We can
beast.
study them from a considerable
Don't be
What's wrong with you?
such
You
a
a scaredy
pussy.
cat or
I
something?
am a pussy. Look at me. I'm a pussy. I'm always
Sorry, Wizards of the Coast.
Sorry, Greg.
I just pat him on the head, just like, we're getting it.
So, Favor's just like, so where do you want to go?
Well, I think we want to go and see these dinosaurs, don't we?
Well, if nothing else, it'll be a cultural experience.
Yes, nothing. I don't want any more of that. Come on, I'm sweating like an orc's arsehole here. No offense, love, but right. Come on.
Did you say orc or ox? I thought you said ox arsehole.
No, an orc's arsehole.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no.
They do get pretty sweaty.
Especially out there in the mountains and things like that. Anyway, yes, come with me then. I think I remember the way. And she pulls out like a hastily drawn map and she's just like, yes, it's the Grand Colosseum. That's over in the, I need to check. Yes, it's in one of the wards. Come with me anyway and I'll lead the way.
I'd love to give Autumn a giant bear hug, like.
Oh yeah, she happily she gropes your breasts while you're doing it. Like she's just like, I'll miss these. And she puts you down. She's like, look after yourselves, you crazy bastards coming to a place like this. Yeah, nonsense. But look after yourselves. This place is a bit of a killer, so be on your tiptoes, eh? Don't trust anything out in the city. It may all look friendly, but there's a lot of shady business that goes on here. Yeah.
It looks friendly to you.
Yes.
There's dinosaurs.
Oh, they're
everywhere.
sweethearts,
They're
really.
eating them
Some of them
over
don't
there.
even eat meat. Some of them eat plants.
Yes, well, they could trample me.
Oh, that's true, yes. You get the big ones out in the jungle. My boys have said, tall as houses as the biggest manors in Waterdeep, they say.
Okay,
sounds amazing.
stop talking. Thank you, it's been nice.
That's the
On
one.
your boat of death.
Make
tall
a lot,
one, do we?
Yeah. Really intimidating.
Always want to show one.
Favor's just like, yes, I remember now. It's Yogwazi Hall. That's hill. That's the one.
Yogwazi.
Yogwazi, yes. The place names might be a bit strange to our Faerunian tongues, but
And this place here that we've docked at.
this is Port Nyanzaru. Now, there's a few things you should be aware of. Bartering is quite common. Most prices, they will try and bleed you dry, so make sure you haggle. What else? What did they tell me? Don't insult any of their ancestors or things like that, or spirits or things like that. They take that very, very seriously here. Don't treat them like barbarians either. This is a very intelligent people. They're much smarter than you will give them any credit for. They're marvels of engineering. You'll see some of their waterworks and things like that they use the rainwater to actually power many devices we don't have. So please don't treat them like idiots. They're very smart people here. The dinosaurs are beloved pets.
Don't say the D word, please.
The lizards are very beloved pets. Try not to hurt them. There are conditions where you're allowed to fight them, generally in the Colosseum and things like that, but generally please don't injure them. What else? No, that should be it. Oh, if we go outside the main ancient city, these ancient walls, they are quite poor areas, I'm afraid. You should watch your pockets. There is a criminal element led by the beggar kings. They shouldn't really be trusted. Keep an eye on your pockets. They may, some things may go missing. But it's not always responsible of the people. There are forest spirits that are prone to taking things here. So don't always assume that it's a pickpocket or anything like that. What else? No, that should be it. So, to the dinosaur races.
Right, so don't let yourself get pickpocketed. Don't hurt the wildlife, and don't treat the savages like savages. Off we go.
No, Crumsby, you can't use that word.
What?
Don't use that word. No.
Oh.
This is a cultured people with a wonderful and rich history. They are very, very, very well. No S word. No.
Simpletons, then.
No.
Simple folk. That's a bit better, surely. I put folk at the end.
I think that maybe just folk.
Right, mum's the word.
Yeah. Thea, please.
Hey, I don't control him.
Oh. Right this way.
And if anyone tries to pickpocket us, I've got you to keep your eyes out on people. Break some arms,
Yeah.
Fortune reaches in and she pulls out what looks to be almost like an extendable rod. Favor. She pulls out an extendable rod, pulls it out, and it turns into a parasol that she puts up, and she kind of leads the way with it. She's like, this way.
Favor,
Yes.
we were on that ship for how many days?
I use this almost every day. Did you not notice?
No, I was too busy looking at the deck and not the water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, no, this is to keep the sun off. I've only got one. Are you quite warm?
Keep moving.
Just furry cat man,
Baking.
She leads you through these incredibly dense, populated city streets. There's a couple of things you notice along the way. Foliage is everywhere. The jungle is trying to take over this city. Vines and grass, any kind of foliage is desperately trying to claw its way
I've
into
got
the
my
buildings.
machete, and I'm thinking that I'm a proper seasoned explorer trying to chop stuff.
It's the thing is you're doing that, but it's actually mainly out of the way, and you can actually, as you pass, you see gardeners and caretakers that are very skillfully pruning it back, and then you come in and they just look at you with death glares as you're like, "Rah, get out the way,
Bloody vines.
They're just like
Creepers.
Unfortunately, Favor just gives up on trying to help you. She's just like, oh, fine. But yeah, the foliage is trying to take them. They have these kind of quite well revered. It looks like gardeners and caretakers trying to keep it away from the main buildings and streets. Speaking of the streets, there are massive rain gutters here. They're 2 feet wide, and it all flows downhill. The actual city is almost in a basin, and then they have the rich areas built up on hills, and it looks like the rainwater just flows through the streets. There are water wheels built into buildings that look like they're powered when the rains are running. Everything else. Of particular note for 6, as you are making your way through the streets, you look over and you see a pair of other tabaxi, these cream-coloured with stripes, and a group of Chaltean children, kind of, dark-skinned, but wearing sort of brightly coloured silk, beautiful clothing, are clapping and speaking in this strange tongue, and they hand the cats a silver coin, and the tabaxi then start doing this little dance, and then they make things appear out their hands and disappear, and they kind of play music on pipes and things like that, and they dance around.
I'm gonna walk up to this.
They look at you, and they kind of
I'm taking off my robe.
their eyes widen and a big toothy fanged grin, and they clap their paws together. They're like, brother, welcome!
You are a disgrace to my kind. You're
What?
dancing for pittance. What is this?
He looks at you, he's like, how dare you? We are minstrels, this is our job, it is a sacred tradition. What are you? And he like looks at you, some sort of robed bookworm perhaps?
I mean, that's a very astute observation. Congratulations. Would you like a silver coin for that performance?
They like puff up their chests and they get in your face. One of them, he kind of walks up to you, he's like, you better watch your tongue in this town, little cat.
You better watch your fur and this little flame on my finger.
He's just like, so you think a little bit of magic is going to scare us,
Oh
eh?
no, it's very much fire.
He just raises his hand and it goes icy cold. And he's just like, you're not the only kitty with a few tricks up its claws, little pussy. And then it just goes like, you better watch yourself. The big panther will be keeping an eye on you.
The what?
And then they just back off.
I mean, you're meant to tell me what that is.
And they just do this.
Unbelievable.
I'm just watching this, like, incredibly amused.
The children look up at you and they hold up a silver coin.
I'm knocking out their
Can
hands.
I go over and take it?
They like hold it back. They're like, ah, and they're like talking to you this strange language.
It's mine.
Do a
It's my
little
cat.
dance.
Favor looks and she's like, and she speaks in their language and she kind of points at you and points at Six. She kind of doesn't look like she's particularly good at lying about the thing, but the kids actually look up and they're like, oh, and then they pay you and then they look at Six.
Just do the flame
What?
thing. Just do the flame thing.
Okay, I set the clothes of the one in front of me on fire.
Oh my god, no.
Why would you do that?
Do this?
We're dead. We're dead. We're not gonna make it to episode 3.
Okay, so the child tries to leap back, but you just woof, and the clothing is obviously very light, and it's made of a material that burns really quickly. Let's say a D6 fire damage.
Iceman.
The cats are they've got their arms folded and they're watching, and then as this happens, they start calling out in a language like, Allah, Allah, and they're like calling out, and there's a big commotion. There are screams, there are cries. Favor she can't go pale because she's red, but the color just drains from her face. She's like, no, this isn't. The child is desperately horrifically
All right,
screaming.
I'm gonna throw my robes onto him to smother the flame.
Like, it tries to get away from you thinking that it's going to get there. Give me a dex check. Like, the child thinks you're about to attack it again. The other one desperately tries to tackle
10.
you, worried about that it's going to get sister. The other one, like, intercedes himself and he's, like, pushing you down. He's like, oh, and he's, like, shouting at you.
Yeah, you're
And he's, like,
stupid.
punching you in the ribs.
Can I try and put my cloak?
You're, like, right next to him. What do you want to do? Try and put her out?
Try and smother it.
Okay, give me a dex check just to see if you can quickly grab her. You got advantage, I'll say, because she's not afraid of you.
It's already a 16.
So
already
yeah,
16.
you quickly just like douse the flames. She screams as you touch her, like obviously the skin's like being burnt like by this initial burn part. I need to just get my monster manual a second.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh my god.
It was an instinctive reaction.
So you would probably have, they would have these guys. So there's a big commotion and there is yelling and pointing, and you're out in like a big crowded sort of like city street that's moving along. There is a trader who's got like one of these dinosaurs who's pointing at you now, and 4 men wearing sort of hide shields of like thick lizard skin, holding these kind of short-hafted spears and kind of like leather patchwork armor, kind of almost like a brigandine, step forward, and they just point at you and they are yelling. They're just like, oh, and they're just pointing at you.
Favor, you might have to translate.
She's like,
Also, if you can heal the boy if you have another scroll.
she looks like she's gonna faint, but she's just like, they're saying don't, stay where you are, put your hands on the ground. I think they're arresting you. No, I don't have any more scrolls. I used that one I had on you. This is so bad. This is so bad. They don't take kindly to strangers doing this.
Constable, can you heal the boy? I didn't expect it to go up so quickly.
I waddle over to the screaming
Okay,
child.
like Fia's like holding it, like the flames have gone out.
Cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, yeah.
I will
Give me a
put
cure
my
wounds roll.
paws on the floor.
What was it? It was that and...
Your charisma modifier.
8.
8. You heal and you watch as like the pain is suddenly like droned away. The kid is just crying, like the relief like just overwhelms it.
I give him a snifter of brandy.
No.
Like, she just like, it doesn't like hold back, just like gulps it down, like eyes kind of go a bit funny. But the scarring is there. Like the cure wounds won't get rid of the scarring, but it takes away the pain immediately. But all of the arms and like you can see like the front of the neck and chest have been like badly burned. The guards come up to you. And yeah, one of them just boots you in the chest, like, immediately. You're on prone, so I'm going to give them advantage. I mean, what's your AC?
It is 11.
Yeah. Just like a swift boot in the chest. You're going to take 4 points of damage. And then one of them just puts their spear onto the back of your neck and starts pulling your arms behind you, wrapping these thick, almost like a vine-like rope around it.
Is Chultian an ancient language?
It's not ancient, no.
Old, ancient.
No. You could, I would say, spending time listening with Favor, you've picked up, like, you could communicate
Words,
in very broken Chultian. Favor is just, like desperately trying to talk to them, and you don't you're kind of picking up on it a little bit, Kayla. She's basically saying, like, no, it's a mistake, he didn't mean to, something along those lines, and the guards are just like, criminal, being arrested, like, arrest, prison, basically bad things.
Can I ask her to ask them what is the punishment?
She looks at you and like you giving her the focus, she like turns around, she speaks to them in a language like, what's the punishment? He looks down and she translates this back. He's just like, he will be taken to the Colosseum. He must fight in Executioner's Run. That is where we take our criminals.
Oh, goody.
Is it possible I could fight in his stead?
You have committed no crime, no.
I am responsible for him.
He is responsible for himself.
No, I must do this.
They take their hand. Favor turns around, she's like, please, we're guests of Merchant Prince Jessamine, please. And he looks down, and the name seems to convey a bit. He's like, very well, you may all go and speak with Merchant Prince Jessamine. I will send one of my guards with you to confirm, but he must still pay the price. This is a child he has attacked, and he's like directing it kind of to them, and it's like, and he like points to the badly burned girl who is just like sobbing, but is obviously like just a bit drunk and close to passing out from the brandy sifter. Her brother is like holding her, and it's just like, yeah, like, I mean, it was a quick like flame, but it's almost like, yeah, like if you find somebody, it would burn them. And it's not like horrific scarring, but the kid suffered badly.
She went up.
Can I go over to the kid and just try and calm her down?
I mean, she's pretty, like, just out of it. Like, between the brandy and the healing magic, she's, like, not in pain, and she's just kind of a bit out of it. Yeah. But, yeah, like, look, as you get closer, it's like, oh, that's pretty, like, sore and
Gonna
red.
need more than Savlon to sort
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Like, maybe in time as she grows up, and, like, because she's young, the skin may heal a bit better, but it's not good.
I was expecting a tiny little, like,
You said I set her clothes on fire.
Yeah.
You didn't say, like, I'm going to singe her, like,
eyebrows
out, or a ponytail or something. You said, I set her clothes on fire.
Oh, thank God you didn't set her ponytail on fire,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, well, that would have probably been okay. Like, hairs, well, I don't know, like...
that felt worse in my mind.
So the question is, what do you guys want to do? Like, do you want to go and find this merchant prince, or do some of you want to go with 6? They're dragging him to this thing called Executioner's Run.
I will go with 6.
Okay, you're going to go with 6. What about you two?
Go to the...
Shall we go and see some dinosaurs?
Trample a cat.
Okay, so I'll give the description. So you two are led. Katie's mic has moved.
It's not moved
slowly.
since I started. So I don't understand.
While you're sorting that, let me just get my notes from the thing. Executioner's Run.
One thing we did not expect.
Oh,
What is it with you and fire? Just like, burning people.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah.
Well, no, I think like you're the original. I'm going to
Yeah.
kill NPCs through fire.
You just clearly haven't learned, have you?
Not at all.
Just
no.
a little trick, just to hold your finger
was
on
I'm just
meant
gonna
to-
lock
flame
this
on
man in this room and
It was
set
meant
it
to
on
be a little
fire.
trick, not set a little poor child.
Don't burn matches. Or
The thing is, as well, is like you're using the ignite ability, right? Like that specifically says that like it goes up. Like
Oh, I
it's not
thought-
like.
Okay. I've misconstrued the spell quite badly.
Oh boy.
Because I did
Okay.
a little flame on my finger, I thought.
That's what I wanted you to...
Yeah, you did but then you said, I set their clothes on fire. That's what you said. So, you are led to something called Malar's Throat. Kalar picks this up from the guards. Where's my betting sheet? Because that's got some information on Executioner's Run. Executioner's Run. So, you are taken to this slum area outside the city. It's almost like it's been dug into kind of like an old riverbed, but it's been walled up. And the slums are kind of all over the place. You see like tents and huts, but also kind of ramshackle stone buildings. And the guards take you, and they speak very little, but as you approach this long, 200-foot long stone enclosure, all like ancient stone, where you can see a lot of blood stains that have been set into the stone for a long time. Both ends have large gated sections. The guards take you to down some stone steps and to a desk where a man records some information. The guards speak to you, and they do speak common. They go, tell him your name.
6.
Just 6?
Frisky Flames.
And they say, speak in their language, he is guilty of arson. He almost killed a small child. And they're like, yes, murderer, attempted murder. And they write it down. Very well. And the man turns up and goes like, let me have a look at you. You say he created magic, yes? And they're like, yes, he created flame from his hands. And they're like, he has good. He seems quite agile. His magic will be of use. Yes. Tell them that I give him even odds. Tell the crowd even odds. And they're like, very well. And they shove you in. And basically another set of guards come. These guys look a lot stronger and burlier. They almost wear like gladiator armor. They like grip you by the arms and take you into a locked area. They stop you from going further. And one of the guards turns around to you and says like, you said you were responsible for him. Why?
He is my traveling companion.
You make poor choice in traveling companion.
He's never done anything like this before today. I don't know what got into him.
Well, after Executioner's Run, either he will never do it again, or he will be dead. Do you wish an explanation of what is to happen to him?
Yes.
Very well, come with me. And he takes you up top, and he directs you to a seating area. 2 tiers of seating packed with people that are staring down into a pit. The previous match is about to begin. I will explain to you. The prisoners, and he points at one end, they enter here, and there's a gated area, and you can see that there's this long 200-foot run filled with like stone walls and obstacles. He points at the other end. That end is where the dinosaurs got free.
Oh, good.
They are released. Any prisoner that makes it to the end and can climb up the rope is free to go.
Okay.
If they die, they die.
Cool. What does even odds mean?
That means that they believe that he has a fair chance of survival. People may make bets on him.
What happens if there's like interference from the crowd?
We do not take very kindly to interference. You would either likely be executed on the spot or thrown into the run yourself for the next bout. I do not advise it, and I will be keeping an eye on you.
I am pretty good to look at.
Yes. Perhaps so, half-orc, but I will not tolerate any interference in this. If your friend is to survive on his own merits, he shall go free, and hopefully he shall have learned his mistake. You are dragged by these guards, babbling in a language you don't understand, and you are thrown into a pit where you can see a portcullis into this stone trough, like the Death Star run. These kind of like shallow pits. Your hands are then bound in front of you. They're taken out and they're bound in front of you. Any equipment, weapons, your spell component pouch, everything is taken from you. They forcibly take it. If you resist, they will beat you.
I'm not forcibly taking it.
They take it so you have your clothes. They store it away. They go and take it back to the man on the desk, and they seem to whisper something to him, and he notes it down. But inside, you can see that there are at least 6 other people. 2 ratty-looking human travelers. Look like they may be from Faerun, kind of pale-skinned. Look like just drunkards or somebody worthwhile scum, not worthless scum kind of thing. You also notice a man who is. He looks like he probably used to wear armor, like judging by like the tan lines and sort of the heavy wearing on his neck. Looks like quite old and grizzled, scratches at an eye patch. and he's kind of got like half of his arm, like there's a big bite mark taken out of it, and it's like been like not properly healed, and he's just kind of like spitting on the ground and just kind of sniffing. You also see a couple of very pale-looking dwarves who just don't speak to anybody, and they're hunched up in the corner, their eyes, black, soulless eyes looking around. They're almost albino. And you are thrown into this prisoner. And it just basically, they look at you and they say, when the gate opens, you run to the other side. If you get to the other side and you climb rope, you're free to go.
Really?
Yes?
And you're all doing this?
This is the guards, and then they shut the door. The man sort of hears you, the grizzled man, he's just like, yep, what they say is true. You get to the other end, you climb up the rope, free to go.
One rope?
One rope.
All of us?
He looks around, he's like, I think I'm probably the only one that's gonna make it, so...
Good luck to you.
Good luck to you.
I don't need it.
Of course not. And he just goes back and he just chuckles to himself. Newcomers. He just chuckles away.
You've done this before.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of people out there making bets on my behalf. Good coin.
Great.
You learn a thing or two about avoiding dinosaurs when you do a few of these runs.
I didn't know dinosaurs were alive until 20 minutes before
Oh.
I set a small child on fire.
Well, you're going to get an up-close experience with them, because that's what you've got to get past.
Very well.
Kayla?
Can I make a bet?
Yeah, if you want to. Do you want to bet? So the guard explains to you, he's like, you may bet on a number of things. It's not conventional betting. You may bet if a man will reach the end and free himself. You may also bet if somebody will kill a dinosaur. If no one will make it out alive. You can basically bet on whatever you wish.
I would like.
The more outrageous, the better the odds.
I would like to bet that 6 makes it out.
Very well. That will be even odds, even wager.
10 gold.
Very well. I will inform them. He takes the 10 gold now. Goes down. Okay, you two. You are taken along with Favor, who is in a panicked state. She's just like, oh no, they've sent him to Executioner's Run. That's bad. He's dead. 6 is dead.
Oh, he'll be all right.
No.
He's Want a snifter of this? It'll put your spirits up. A snifter, I said, not the whole thing.
No, I needed the whole thing. Oh, that's so strong. No, you don't
Put
understand.
hairs on your chest.
Very few people make it out of
Literally.
Executioner's life. Is their run 200 feet, dinosaurs at one end, 6 at the other. He's got to run past them all.
No, he's a cat. He's an agile fellow.
No.
He'll just do a bit of this and a bit of that. Better him than me, I'm telling you.
They might have a T-Rex.
A what, Rex?
Big one.
Oh, crimes. Right, okay, well, never mind. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Can she not influence any of these people?
She'll probably make a bet. You might bet on him if he lives, but probably not.
What do you think? 200 that he dies.
Why are you all so mean?
That's realistic. It's not mean.
It's
just
very, he's
realistic.
gonna die. It's a safe bet to be honest, Crumsby.
Yes, it probably is. I wouldn't have said it until you had that drink, but yes, he's
true.
probably going to get his entrails torn out.
He probably will, yes. They're velociraptors.
Oh,
They'll
yes.
tear him apart. Big claws.
Oh,
That's terrible.
No way
This
to
way.
get around the law, no.
Maybe. We can ask Jessamine, but she'll probably want a favour.
maybe we could have paid off the guards.
Depends on them. Some of them are quite honourable, but some
Oh,
of them
really?
are corrupt.
Ugh.
So maybe we should have done that.
Yes. Bit late now, though, now that we've walked all this way.
Yes. I think the next run is at dusk. We've got a few hours at best.
Well, let's go. Find
She
Jessamine.
burps, and then you guys make your way. You actually are taken to through a very affluent area. It's all up on a hill. There is shade, like big canopies are hung amongst the streets, so it kind of keeps the sun off of you. You can see very wealthy merchants in vibrant colours with all sorts of like necklaces and rings. They beckon you over, and they all speak common here. They're just like, "Oh, my friends, travelers, please come. Have you ever tried dried velociraptor, please?" And he tries to entice you with little samplers, and then they offer you all these different things, spices that you've never heard of.
I'll go for some velociraptor.
Yes,
Funny
yes.
story, a friend of mine might be getting eaten by one of these.
Funny story, my brother was eaten by one. And he offers you the little dried meat, and it tastes very sweet, almost like it's almost been marinated, and it's quite tough, almost like a jerky.
Oh.
And he's just like, "Oh, do you like it, my friend?"
Yes, very good.
Bag of it for, shall we say, 5 silver pieces.
Oh, let's see. Make it down to 2 silver pieces.
Oh, 2 silver. No.
Come on, we have a
You
bond,
don't
my
understand.
friend. We
No.
both have friends who have just been eaten by these beasties.
4 silver pieces for our bond, my good friend. And he shakes your hand. Yes, 4 silver pieces. I get you a bag now. And he brings it over. 4 silver.
Oh, go on then.
And
You
he's like,
wooed
yes.
me.
He just takes it straight away. He's like, yep, that's done. Gives you a small bag.
Lovely. Have a nosh on that. Go on.
No.
No, all right, not for me. What about you, Favour? Do you want one? Feeling a bit peckish, you're looking a bit peaky.
A little bit, yes. Protein would be a very good idea, you
Yes.
know. Just like panicking to herself. She leads you through the streets, and you come across a grand building, a circular stone structure. You can see that it's got this grand kind of stadium. Tiered seating, these little boxes where you can see plush velvet seating and figures being fanned in the shade, and you can see that there is a racetrack, and around it there is like a loud clap or a loud noise that is echoed almost like a loud thunderous bang, and then from the starting point, dinosaurs of all these different sizes, triceratops, young T-Rexes, velociraptors lashed to almost like a little kind of chariot, begin racing around in desperate things, and the riders even attack each other as they're going around. They hurl spears
Look at
and
the
whips.
buggers go. Brilliant.
And they just chase each other around, and the crowd loves it. They go absolutely crazy. You are led inside, and Favour speaks with a few of the guards, and she shows them some sort of letter. We're here to see Lady Jessamine. I have a letter of introduction. She shows it there. I'm a scholar from Waterdeep. Yes, that's us. Yes, Lady V. This way. And she gestures you over, and she pats Fear on the shoulder. She's like, they're very welcoming when they know that when you're with the society. They love us. And she's like, "It's very good."
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Sorry. And then she leads you through, and you go up a few stone steps, and you are led out into basically a spectator box. And there is a lovely breeze from these kind of people fanning this woman who is wearing silk, beautiful, airy, kind of loose silk robes, and you can see that she has bandages wrapped around her arms and almost like snake tattoos. And she turns around, she has tied back thick black kind of dreadlocks. She turns to you with these kind of dark chocolate eyes, and she bows her head, and she's just like, you must be the one sent by Lady V. She bows her head. I am Jessamine, one of the merchant princes here. Welcome. I was told to expect more of your number. Is there only 3?
Funny story. Seems that one of us is in a little bit of trouble already.
You don't waste any time here in Port Nyanzaru, do you?
He's been taken to Executioner's Run.
Yes. Quite the tricky predicament there. I am assuming you would like me to pull some strings.
If you wouldn't mind, madam, that would be awfully kind of you.
I can attempt to do so. However, it depends on the guards who are currently there. Some of them are under my employ. Some of them are under the employ of my competitors, shall we say. The competitors, if they know that this friend of yours is here to see me, they will likely endeavor to try and see him killed. Yes, I will do my best. We have much business to discuss. Please take a seat. Enjoy the races with me.
Oh, thank you very much.
Come. And with that, we're going to end today's HighRollers Uncharted territory.
Well,
Oh, Trotty Sam. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We will be back next Friday. It's 10:05. Yes, thank you, Steve. Sorry that ran on a bit long. If we have donations, we're going to try and read through them quickly, but we're going to stop the stream over on D&D.
Thanks for
so it doesn't
watching.
mean that we have to restart. So if you're on the
We'll be
D&D channel,
restarting.
thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Friday, same time, to see how things go. Will 6 survive Executioner's Run? We'll have to find out.
Also, later today, 7 p.m.
We have Dragon
PST,
Friends.
Dragon Friends.
PDT, 7 p.m. PDT.
It's Dragon Friends.
Dragon Friends is
on
on.
Twitch TV /
And then
D&D.
we will be on our regular stream, which is on twitch.tv/Yogscast at 5 p.m. BST on Sunday for our regular campaign. And then don't forget, there's loads more awesome D&D content throughout the week on the Wizards D&D website. Make sure you check that out. Sub up, follow, get all the notifications, all that good stuff. So we'll be back in just a moment. We're just going to restart the stream, I think, and then we'll be back to read some donations.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's not going off.
Steve!
Steve's like, bah.
I think, there we go.